The strangest thing about Japan is not that people do seven things differently. It is that seven completely different behaviors may be obeying the same rule. A quiet train, an apology for being late, a purchase wrapped with care, a clean shared space, a calm public reaction, a cue nobody needs to control, preparation before anyone has to ask them twice. From the outside, these look like separate habits. People call them discipline, politeness, respect, or tradition. But that explanation may be too simple, because the same pattern keeps appearing in places that have nothing to do with each other. The train, the shop, the office, the street, the home, different settings, same pressure all the time. Do not make other people carry the extra cost of your presence. Do not arrive in a way that creates more noise, more work, more delay, or more discomfort for the room. That changes how the seven behaviors look. Quiet is no longer just quiet. Punctuality is no longer just punctuality. Preparation is no longer just being organized. Each one becomes a way of reducing the burden you place on other people. The visible habits are different. The hidden rule may be the same. And once you see that possibility, the real mystery is no longer what Japanese people do differently. It is what they are trying not to make everyone else carry. The easy explanation is that Japanese people are simply more disciplined. They arrive on time, follow rules, keep shared spaces, orderly control public reactions, and prepare before problems appear. From a distance, that story feels complete. It turns culture into personality. It suggests that millions of people somehow share more patience, more cleanliness, more self-control, and a stronger sense of duty. But the closer you look, the weaker that explanation becomes. People do not repeat the same patterns across trains, schools, offices, shops, neighborhoods, and family life by accident. A person is not calm in one place, careful in another, punctual somewhere else, and prepared everywhere simply because of one private personality trait. Something deeper is being learned. The rule you see is discipline. The rule underneath is attention. Before acting, people learn to notice the room, the timing, the other people, and the cost their behavior may create. That changes the question completely. The mystery is not why Japanese individuals seem different. It is what they have been trained to notice before they move, speak, arrive, react, or ask. Because once a society teaches people to notice the same hidden signals before anyone has to correct them, millions of separate choices can begin to look like the same personality. The deeper mechanism begins before anyone speaks. It begins with attention to context. Before moving, arriving, reacting, asking for help, or taking up space, the person is expected to notice what the moment requires. Will this delay someone? Create extra work? Force another person to correct me? Draw attention that the room did not ask for? Leave a mess someone else must handle? Once you see that habit, the seven differences stop looking separate. Punctuality reduces disruption. Preparation stops your mistake from becoming another person's problem. Quietness protects a shared atmosphere. Cleanliness removes the burden before you leave. Careful service tries to notice a need before the customer has to ask. Public restraint keeps one person's emotion from spreading through the group. Order works because correction starts inside the person before it has to come from outside. That is what makes the pressure hard to see. Nobody needs to shout the rule. Nobody has to stand nearby and enforce it every minute. The strongest systems are often the ones people carry inside themselves. You do not wait to be told what went wrong. You scan the room early enough to avoid becoming the problem. The room becomes the warning before words arrive. And that is why the behavior can look effortless from the outside. What looks like discipline may actually be social radar working before anyone else has to speak. The hidden rule becomes easiest to see in ordinary moments. A commuter lowers their voice before anyone complains. A worker arrives early because making others wait feels worse than losing their own time. A student claims a shared room instead of assuming someone else will handle it. A customer receives careful packaging because unfinished details would reflect on everyone involved. Someone hides irritation in public, apologizes for causing inconvenience, follows an unmarked cue, or prepares far beyond what seems necessary just to avoid becoming another person's problem. These habits can create trust, safety, calm, and remarkable coordination. People know what to expect from each other, and shared spaces work because fewer people push their unfinished burden onto the group. But the strength of the rule is also where the cost begins. The person who learns to protect the room may also learn to hide what the room is doing to them. Frustration becomes something to contain. Exhaustion becomes something not to spread. Discomfort becomes something to manage quietly. The group stays smooth, but the individual may become harder to read. The same habit that prevents chaos can also make pressure disappear from view. What protects everyone from your discomfort can also teach you to carry it alone. The 7 things Japanese people do differently are not 7 disconnected habits. They are 7 visible results of one deeper calculation. Notice the effect of your behavior before someone else has to feel it. Once that rule becomes visible, the quiet train, the punctual arrival, the clean shared space, the careful service, the restrained reaction, the orderly cue, and the preparation before being asked stop looking like random cultural details. They become parts of the same social pattern. But the lesson is not that one culture found the perfect way to live. Every system creates strengths and costs. The deeper lesson is that behavior changes when people are rewarded for noticing consequences that others are allowed to ignore. You were taught to see discipline. The real rule was awareness before correction. The visible habit was self-control. The hidden pressure was responsibility for the room. And behind all 7 differences was one simple demand: do not make other people carry what you could have noticed yourself. That is what connects 7 behaviors that seemed unrelated before.